of the Senate Foreign Relations Subcommittee on the Near East, South Asia, Central Asia, and Counterterrorism will come to order. Today we're holding the first hearing in this Congress of the Near East Subcommittee. It's significant that the topic we're considering is Iraq. Not only is Iraq a place of enormous strategic interest for the U.S., it is a country where 4,565 United States service members have given their lives. We remember and honor these individuals and the families who survived them. Iraqi freedom came at a great cost. Several months ago, Ranking Member Murphy and I traveled to Iraq to meet with U.S. officials there and with Iraqi government leaders. Iraq has proven for nearly 2 decades to be the place where vital U.S. interests in the Middle East intersect. This is the focus of our hearing today. In 2014, ISIS seized control of roughly 1/3 of Iraqi territory. It terrorized the Iraqi people with a level of brutality unexpected even in a country that had lived under the regime of Saddam Hussein. While ISIS is no longer a territorial caliphate, Iraq still faces major security and economic challenges. Among those challenges are how to build an independent Iraq, how to sustain a vibrant economy, whether and how to assimilate returning ISIS fighters, and how to counter excessive Iranian influence. The question for us is how can the U.S. best support Iraq's efforts to achieve a secure and prosperous future and become a stabilizing force in the region? We note that Iraq has significant natural resources, but it's failing to exploit them. It flares its natural gas because of insufficient infrastructure. The annual value of flared gas is in the tens of billions of dollars. Even so, infrastructure investments have been negotiated for years, but never executed. Just last month, a 30-year, $53 billion project with ExxonMobil was placed on hold. Recently, the Iraqi government lifted travel restrictions in Baghdad's green zone, but the security situation is not resolved. ISIS may no longer have territorial control, but is reorganizing in underground cells. The Iraqi government faces enormous challenges to prevent these extremists from terrorizing and radicalizing the people. Of course, the ISIS challenge is not just from terrorist cells. There are currently tens of thousands of former ISIS fighters and their families in camps in Iraq and Syria. The government is committed to bringing home as many as 30,000 Iraqis who went to Syria as part of the Islamic State. Determining how to handle such a staggering number of radicalized men, women, and even children is a daunting challenge. Another concern is the ongoing presence of militias that were formed to counter ISIS. These militias have not been easily assimilated into Iraqi security apparatus. Some of them remain under Iranian direction. And finally, and perhaps most significantly, Iraq needs a strategy to address its relationship with Iran. The Iraqi leaders we met with underscored that they do not want their nation to become a vassal state of anyone. I note that recent Iranian attacks on ships and a U.S. drone have elevated our concern for the safety of American troops there, as well as our diplomatic personnel. The question then becomes, how can we help Iraq foster closer ties with other countries in the region to balance Iranian influence? I'm grateful to have 2 expert witnesses from the administration with us to discuss these issues. I hope today that you'll be able to provide an overview not only of the current situation on the ground in the context of these challenges, but also to provide your insights and recommendations about how the U.S. can support Iraq in its journey to become a secure, economically successful, and independent state. And with that, I'll turn things over to Senator Murphy for his comments.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I was grateful to join you in visiting the region, grateful for our hearing today. As you've noted, more than a year and a half since the Iraqi government declared